welcome to my YouTube channel, Lady D Psychic. This will be a video in my true crime series, which I am doing on different crimes that have happened. So today I'm covering JonBenét Ramsey, and I do have all the whole information on the charts. So I do have the charts of JonBenét and the parents, so Patsy and John Ramsey. And I also do my insights of what I've gotten, what happened in this unsolved case as well. So we'll look at the charts today because I have all the information, and we'll start seeing what I got. So it was interesting more in the astrology charts of the parents than JonBenét. So I can see things happening in JonBenét's chart, but I could see more in terms of transits that stood out in the parents' charts. But we will have a look at JonBenét's first, and then we'll move on to the parents, and then I will tell you what I feel, what I'm getting, what happened on that night in that house. So let me share the screen and we'll start looking at the charts. Okay, so here we are. This is JonBenét Ramsey's chart. So she was born on the 6th of August 1990 and at 1:36 a.m. So she is an ascending Gemini. We have the ascending there. And she was a Leo. She's got a Leo sun, moon in Aquarius, Mercury in Virgo, Mars in Taurus, Venus in Cancer. So having the ascending in Gemini and also being a Leo sun, that's what helped her to perform, to go out on those beauty pageants and to be quite glamorous. And she did have a youthfulness about her, and there was like an innocence about her too, although she was only a young child when she passed. She would see her mum as maybe more of a different mum, quirky, independent. She saw the mum as an Aquarian energy. She saw the dad as the Leo energy. So she saw the dad maybe being the one that's very charismatic, big heart, very social, loves his family, and maybe also saw the dad wanting to be more in the spotlight. I will say in her chart, she does have a conjunction with Venus and Chiron, as in that third house. So I feel like that she would have had like a love-hate relationship with her brother or siblings. There would have been siblings there that she really did adore and got along with really, really well. But then there would have been some which she just didn't get along with. So I know that the father had other children in previous marriages, and I feel like she would get along with them better than the brother. I kind of feel like there's a jealousy with the brother, or like a love-hate relationship with him, because Chiron is sort of like it's like pain in this area, so it's sort of creates a wound. And because also it's with Venus, it's about relationships, it's also about money with her. And I don't feel like that she saw the money that she won from those pageants either. I kind of feel like that was sort of taken away and spelt somewhere as well. But that in her lifetime, and even though she's so young, there would have been issues there with relationships and money, but also the brother. She's all about the family because her son is in the fourth house, so she would have seen her dad as a family man, being there. And also the family is quite strong in her chart, having the sun close to the IC too. And she feels most comfortable talking to people in the family, or talks a lot about the family. She's very specific in her words, and she's probably very big on detail and how she explains things and how she talks. The way that she'd think is that, she can do things herself, and probably find out how to get people to do it for her with that Mercury in Virgo. And it's so close to the fifth house as well, so she probably would have been good at making friends, I imagine, as well, also being a Leo. Also having the Venus in Cancer. I feel like for her, she was the way that she loved her was very nurturing. I feel like things about if she's not comfortable or she doesn't feel safe, or that would make her feel a little uncomfortable and agitated. And even money may have made her, as she got older, made her feel angry. But I feel like, though, I just kept on getting that she didn't get that money that she won from the pageant, so that was sort of taken off her. She's also born with Pluto in the sixth. And she would have been someone that does hide her anger as well. I feel like especially out in public. Now, at the time of her passing, she had Chiron going for the sixth house and she's born with Pluto in the sixth. So I wonder if there was health issues that she did have, because Chiron in the sixth can indicate health issues, as well as being born with Pluto in the sixth can indicate health issues. She also had this Pluto going through her seventh house, and that can be a destruction when it comes to relationships, like an ending, but also like starting anew with relationships. I know she's so young and she did pass, but yeah, I did notice that. Also, when it comes to money, she gets money in unexpected ways, and unexpected things happen with her with money, especially for other people, but it doesn't last with her, it dissolves. So when I keep on hearing that she didn't get that money, that just indicates that she wouldn't have gotten the money that she won from those pageants if she won anything. On the ninth house, she was a bit spiritual. She would have been a bit psychic, very intuitive. Her life lesson is actually to do with the home and her emotions, because the node is very close to her moon. It also would be about learning. It'd be about maybe even in terms of travel or spiritual if she got a bit older. And she would have had problems at this time with friends because she had Saturn going through the 11th house. So there would have been some issues, or maybe she changed her friends or got rid of some. We don't know because she's so young. We're limited in the information that we have with this case with her. She does have a lot of transits here. So this is more about, as I said, the ninth house is more about a house of learning. It's also a house of travel, and it is a psychic house too. So perhaps she wanted to learn different things with Uranus going through this house. She probably didn't like school with Saturn being in here natally, and with Neptune going through here, it's all about I feel like maybe she wasn't like most children not interested in school, but I kind of feel like that she really wouldn't have liked school. But she may have actually, if she Jupiter as it went through his house, it would have been a good year for her at school. Um, yeah. She does have Mercury, which is Mercury retrograde on top of this Saturn when she passed. So that could have been some problems with communication, maybe trying to express herself or say what she needs to say. There could have been some issues with that. And a smaller transit, there is that Venus really close to the Pluto there. But she's be very good in talking and vocalizing things usually, because she's got all these positive aspects to Mercury. She would have gotten very frustrated or angry. I do feel like maybe she had a little bit of a temper with these squares to Mars. But I feel like for her, I feel like she was a very lovely girl. But I do feel like I'll go through in the end what I'm getting, and I tune into her energy, because I'm hearing things now. I don't want to go in too much before I do the parents' charts. But that's what we see in her chart. Also, too, because the node is in Aquarius, so part of her life lesson is about people and communities. It's all about technology as well, and being independent, being different. So she would have had a very interesting life, I feel, had she been lived longer too. But I just feel like it's very interesting about the siblings, the third house with the siblings there in the chart, because I do feel like there was a bit of a love-hate relationship and a jealousy there with her and the brother. So let's now look at, we're going to look now at Patsy's chart. So I'll stop sharing and I'll get Patsy's chart up. So here is Patsy Ramsey's chart. Okay, so she is, I kind of feel like, even though she too has her Mars in that 12th house, I kind of feel like the mum had a temper. The Mars is in Aries. She probably would have hidden it definitely away from the public, but behind closed doors, you probably would have felt her wrath, because having that Mars in that 12th house where we hide it. Also, she brings in frustration and strength from past life into this life too, with that Mars being in that 12th house. So the same as JonBenét would have. She is an ascending Taurus. I find that when people have an ascending Taurus, they can, which is the same actually as her, no, Gemini was Gemini. I find people who have an ascending Taurus, they can look a bit stocky at times, and she did have that sort of stocky look about her, even though like she wasn't big by any means. She had like a solid stocky look about her, and that can be an ascending Taurus quality. She also would have come across the people or someone who maybe liked money a lot, all about money, and who liked being comfortable, who liked nice things. It's how she would have come across to people. And so she's a Capricorn with Moon in Sag, Mercury in Capricorn, Venus in Sag, and Mars in Aries. So she would be a no-nonsense parent. There would have been like an element of fun with her, but she may have been very much like a disciplinarian being a Capricorn. Capricorn's is about, no drama, getting it done. She did have that, the Sag gave her that sort of that youthfulness that you see with her. And the that she had that sort of look where, but she did work well on the camera. She was in beauty pageants herself when she was younger. That's all a part of that Sag quality she had, and very good at speaking on camera with that Sag moon and Sag Venus too. But the way she thought would have been about right or wrong, following the rules. She'll bend the rules in her favor. It's a very Capricorn thing. But she can think of the way she thought was very black and white and about following her rules and about structuring and hardworking. She's probably been a very spiritual lady, having the sun in the ninth house, and also she's probably been very vocal about spiritual too. She would like to learn new things as well, having those there as well. She also, at the time of JonBenét's death, she had Neptune over Mercury, so it's a dissolving communication, which I found was interesting. And also she's got Pluto, which is coming up close to her. It's around this Venus or this moon here, so that can be sort of a change in a home. As I said, Pluto's about death and transformation, or destruction, rebuilding. So there was a death in the home, which I also thought was a little bit interesting. And then down here, got this Chiron very close to Neptune too, which can indicate a dissolving in pain. Plus, she's got Uranus. She's born with Uranus in the fourth. So for her, unexpected, unusual things happen in the home and family for her. And that's throughout her life because it's a natal planet. She's born with it. Also, too, in the fifth house, she's got natal Pluto here and Jupiter. So with relationships, she does have some good qualities here. She's got Jupiter in the fifth. She's got the moon. She's got Venus here. She probably would have a very loving home because we've got the conjunct Venus and we've got the moon so close together. And then we have Saturn here too. So Mercury, so the node, and we've got Saturn close to too. So with that, Pluto was hitting Saturn as well. So interesting. And we've got Venus there too, right in this passing. Which I thought was just interesting. So she's someone that looks for a nurturer as a partner, like a mother figure for a partner. She would, I said, very loving. She would create a loving home. She got a bit emotional about relationships, but her relationships for her, even though she's got some good aspects here, and part of her life lessons also about relationships, she also had problems with relationships. Having Saturn here, Saturn is problems. So she would have had problems with relationships. I'm not sure if she had other marriages prior to this one. I know he did. And with Pluto being here, it's about, again, it's destruction, rebuilding, and it's all about relationships. The fifth house also rules children too. So I thought that was interesting that it's being there. She had problems with work, so I'm not sure if she had a job when this happened. But with her career, it wouldn't have been straightforward. It would have been quite hard, and she probably had issues there at work. I know she did have a battle with cancer, and like JonBenét, she's got the same transit there of Chiron being through that sixth house. So and it's been there would have been there for a while. So there was health issues there, and it's coming up near that Neptune. Neptune can fog health issues. So I know she had health issues in her past, which is interesting. And then we know that she actually died of cancer in the end as well. So I just found those transits quite interesting in the chart at the time of the passing. But when they were asking the mum, did she have a temper about the bedwetting? I kind of feel like yes, she has, because with that Mars in Aries, and I feel like it'd be behind closed doors. We wouldn't have seen her temper. It would have been more behind closed doors, and she could be quite stern, being a Capricorn as well. So that's what I get from her chart. No, I know they have moved houses, but there is a move here. So once Pluto would have gotten up to this area, there would have been a move, either a work move or a home move too. Okay, so now let's look at the dad's chart. See, I see anything else I want to talk about with her? Because I know it's going to be a long video. I'm doing 3 charts here and then doing what I'm getting. For her, she's very good improvising, doing things on the spot, because she's got all these tries to Uranus. So, and I also at a position for Mercury to Uranus too. So she'd be very good at doing things on the spot. But at the same time, definitely there's a frustration there with her that she would have had with the square with the Sun and to Mars, a bit of a temper. But I feel like she can turn on the charm. Also, having Mars in Aries, she likes strong men as well. So who knows what goes on behind closed doors, but from this chart, having that Mars in Aries, she likes men that are strong, a bit argumentative, that are leaders, that can get the job done. So now let's look at the father's chart. There's a lot that goes on in his chart as well. So let's just look at his chart. I'll get the chart up for us. So here is John Ramsey's chart. So he actually blends well with the wife because he's a Sagittarius and she has a Sagittarius moon and also Venus. So, and he has Mars, so he has Mercury and the Sun in Sagittarius. So they actually blended quite well with that. So he's fire. He would actually blend well with JonBenét more than the mum with the daughter, which is quite interesting too. Okay, so his man is a Sagittarius. So he's a bit of a, and also having Mercury in Sag too, he's a bit of a storyteller. He, again, good on camera. He, things with Sagittarians, they not good at routine, not good at setting boundaries. But he would have liked to travel. He would have been a youthfulness about him as well. Now, he had a moon in Aries, so he would have been a bit argumentative. He would have taken on that leadership role. His Venus is in Libra, so he likes women that will do things for him, who want to please him. He also, in about money and relationships, he needs it to be balanced and needs it to be fair. His Mars is in Gemini, so he'd be very motivated by connecting with other people and networking. And I believe he did have some like businesses or did different. Actually, I think he flew planes, which fits in with the Sagittarius qualities that he has. And also being MC in Gemini, he would have done many different jobs in his life. I know he's still alive. Okay, so in the night of the passing, we've got the node here, which is, let's get out of the way. He's got the node with Neptune. It says a dissolving in a life lesson here. He's also got Chiron over Venus. So it's a pain with love and with money. We've also his life node, life lesson. So North Node and Pluto are conjunct. He's born with that. So part of his life lesson is about loss. It's about starting again. It's about destruction in his life and renewing. He's also Uranus on the MC. So with him, when it comes to travel, learning, but also the work, unexpected things just happen out of the blue. He would have been having problems with people, especially with Patsy over the last couple of years of this, because he had Saturn as a transit going through that seventh house. He was like JonBenét in the fact that he both had the Sun and Mercury in the fourth house, so he probably blended well with her more than the wife with JonBenét because of these qualities here. So he's all about the family. He's a good communicator as well. There's Uranus going through the fifth house, and again, the fifth house covers children and relationships as well as Neptune. So unexpected things happening with relationships and children, and Neptune there's dissolving it as well. Okay. He's someone having Mars in Gemini, when partnerships or things would have gone wrong, that would have really frustrated him as well. Also, too, eventually when Pluto went through this fourth house, there would have been a change. I know they did change residencies and homes, so that would have been a big change, especially if I went forward and Pluto went over his sun. That would have been a big change as well in his life. He has the moon in the eighth house. He's a bit emotional about money. And he would have been, once Saturn went through this eighth house, there would have been money issues for him too, as well. But his spotlight's about the family. He's a very family man. I know that this was his second marriage, so I'm not sure when the other marriage ended, but that would have been Neptune going through the fourth or the fifth year, because it goes very slow. It's a slow moving planet, Neptune. And also, perhaps the way the other marriage ended might have been unexpectedly as well, because with Uranus being around this area too. I feel like this man cared very deeply about things. I do feel like that he did try to take the role and the lead with things. He doesn't have, he's actually got some good qualities here when it comes to Jupiter and Mercury. So again, he'd be a very good talker, communicator, very good at that. Same as the wife. He'd be hard at trying to like manipulate and talk his way of a problem. Is a bit hard for him, would feel, with the square between Neptune and Mercury. So he's also a very flexible person as well. So that's what we get from his chart. He needs to be his own boss because he's got Mars in that 10th house. He's in retrograde, so he probably just hide his anger a little bit, or he hides his strength, but he needs to have that recognition. He would be someone that needs to have a manager role or team leader. And again, because Saturn's in that 10th house, for him and his work, there would have been problems. It's not smooth sailing, but he still needs that recognition there. With Venus in the second house, he likes what he does. He does earn money, and he likes what he does for a living too. But doing many different jobs about communication with the way he works, because the MC is in Gemini. So it was interesting to look at the transits of when this happened, because it was very peculiar. It was a bit of an odd thing. I don't think this is ever going to be solved, this case. I think it's always going to be something that's going to stay sort of unmissing. But I feel like people who were in the house knew what happened, because I feel like JonBenét knew her attacker. I feel like that when I asked her, when I connect to her energy and I asked her how many people were in the house, she keeps on telling me there was 5 people in the house. So I feel like that there was more than just the husband, the wife, the brother, and her. I feel like there was another person in the home. Now, and I asked, she knew the person as well. It's not the mum. So she was telling me that it's not the mum, but she was telling me that her mum is bossy and does get angry. So, and, but I do feel like that she keeps on showing me stairs, like wooden stairs, and they're quite sharp. And she keeps on showing me that she hits her head on the back of the stairs. And but wasn't to do with her mum though. She's saying not mum. Now there is jealousy with the brother, as I mentioned before. I could see in the chart, and she could tell me that there is jealousy with the brother, and that the brother is a liar. Is what she's telling me. Now she also told me that the letter is fake. That the letter the ransom letter, was not a real letter. And I kind of feel like when they showed that stick with the rope around it, I don't feel like that killed her. I feel like they did that when they knew that she wasn't alive. I feel like this is a cover up. And I feel like there's something significant about the kitchen area with this, but she keeps on showing me the head and the stairs. So I feel like that she fell on the stairs, but I feel like that there's something that did happen with the kitchen, and I feel like to do with the other DNA that they found to do with her pants. I feel like that happened in the kitchen area. I'm just going to say that. She does describe a man to me, and I feel like is it like an uncle, but I don't feel like it's not. I don't feel like we're talking about a blood relative. I feel like we're talking about a friend of the father's. The father has a friend where some people they call parents, friends, auntie and uncle to their children. So I feel like that's what we're looking at. Someone who's not blood, but to her it's an uncle. Now, I am just starting to get names in my mediumship, and I'm working on it, but I am getting more of like either Frank, Fred, some sort of like F sounding name. I'm like Frank, Fred, but it's an uncle. I was getting clear uncle. Look, I do feel like that she was a playful. She showed me that she was playful. I do feel like she had the snack in the kitchen, like she was eating in the kitchen. It's something because she didn't bring me to the kitchen. There's something significant about the kitchen area. I feel like it's also quite competitive with the brother. I feel like the family, like the family had found her before they called the police, and I feel like this is a big cover up. I feel like she's just described a man to me, and I feel like this man had short brown hair. I feel like that around the same age as their father. I feel like he was like a white person. I also feel like he was quite funny and playful. But I kind of felt the brother got a bit spiteful of her. I didn't look at his chart details. I thought it'd be getting a bit long if we start looking at full. But if you want me to look at his chart, I will do a separate video and I will see what I can see in his chart but I feel like the brother is very spiteful and there's like a sibling rivalry between them as well. And I kind of feel like maybe the mum would sort of pin them against each other a little bit too. And I feel like that she was showing me like headache, like she had a headache as well, because I was getting a headache and she was showing me that she did have a headache. I feel like she likes cinnamon donuts. I could smell donuts with her. She's saying that everything is unfair, but the cover up happened after it all happened. I kind of feel like that it was planned. It was planned in a rush. I do feel like the mum was hysterical. I do feel like that is genuine, but it's like there's nothing that they could do. There's nothing that they could do. So, but she didn't say not mum, not mum. So I don't feel like the mum did it. I don't feel like the mum, like there's involvement there, but I don't feel like she did it. Like it was after. But I do feel like there was someone else in that house, is what I kind of feel like. So that's what I get. Because I feel like it was a headache around this area of the head with her. Because she's showing me that rope thing that they show you didn't kill her. She's telling me that didn't kill me. Even though they're saying that she was strangled, that she's telling me that didn't kill me. And I don't feel like it was that other man that came out and said he did it. I don't feel like that was him either. I feel like it's someone else. But she did know the person, and they are a funny person. There was a relationship that she already had with this person. And I feel like that's why there's no noise here. Because she wasn't taken from the home. she stayed in the home. But I do feel like whatever happened is an accident. I don't feel like this is done on purpose. I feel like it was an accident, and then they've panicked and then they've covered it up, and they've done it in a way that they thought that would be the best. But the other male is linked to the dad, is what I feel that happened here. But yeah, so and then I just feel like the mum does get cranky with her because she tells me that, but the mum didn't do this. So that's what I get. So let me know your comments, what you think about this case. If you found it interesting, if you want me to look at the brother's chart, I can look at his chart. Let me know. Yeah, put your comments down. If you want me to look at another case, I will do so. I've still got to see what other cases I'm going to do. And thank you for your likes, shares, and your comments. And I will see you for my next video. So bye for now.